To our esteemed doctors, we owe you a great debt of gratitude for taking time off your very, very busy morning schedules to be with us here today. The rationale for organizing this international investment conference is to enable us link up international prospective investors with opportunities, economic opportunities which are available in the Nyanza region by way of comparative advantages. That is why we are organizing this conference, so that we have a thought platform that can help bring these parties together. We are aware that we have had many similar conferences before, but we want this to be different. We don't want it to be a talk shop. We want this to turn the opportunities that we have in the Nyanza into tangible results by way of foreign capital inflow and also investment from prospective investors who are locally based. We have got many plans which have been developed. We have got the Lake Basin Development Authority Master Plan, the Lake Region Economic Bloc Strategic Plan, which I was the consultant for a few years ago, and several other policy documents. And you'll realize that the development priorities of Nyanza are well known, they have been documented, and now we need to move the extra mile to have this turned into results. And our hypothesis is that as opposed to leaving everything in the hands of the national government and the county government, there are also certain valuable interventions we can make as professionals, leveraging on our networks, wide networks, to bring in private sector investors to tap into some of those development opportunities. And that is why we are reaching out to all integral stakeholder segments as we get to the home stretch of this conference, so that nobody is left behind. None of us, starting with yours truly, has exclusivity of ideas. We want to work together with all the stakeholders. We have already had a meeting with the EU, European Union ambassadors, about 30 of them, and they have promised to bring investors to the conference. We have also, last weekend, had a meeting with the business community in Kisumu, everybody involved in one type of business or the other, but resident in Nyanza. We had a meeting with them in Kisumu, about 300 of them, and they have promised to take part in the conference as delegates. Yesterday, we had a meeting with architects, engineers, quantity surveyors, and planners from all over Kenya. They have also promised to take part in the conference as delegates and also as exhibitors. Today we are having the same discussion with you people. We expect you in equal measure to take part as delegates and also as exhibitors based on some of perhaps the work you have, ongoing work in progress that you have in the health space with some of your prospective partners, or some of the innovations that you have, or new technologies which you are introducing into the health sector while leveraging on emerging technological advancement. Tomorrow we will be having a meeting with the Law Society of Kenya lawyers under the auspices of the Law Society of Kenya. So you can see that we have mopped up perhaps all the integral professional stakeholder segments so that we have everybody involved. Next week we will have a meeting with the academia. We will have also to have a meeting with the Kenya Association of Manufacturers, the Kenya Private Sector Alliance, and we need also to do a virtual meeting with Kenyans, the diaspora Kenyans resident out of the country, so that we work on this together. On the side of government, we have gotten all the necessary support from government. This team, we have facilitated them working together with my colleague CS Ezekiel Machogu to meet virtually all the relevant principal secretaries based on the economic potential and opportunities in Nyanza. They have met PS Trade, PS Investment, PS Blue Economy, PS SMEs, PS Crops, PS Agriculture, just to mention but a few. In equal measure, they have interfaced with the relevant parastatal state agencies, again, for the same purpose. As well, His Excellency the President has confirmed participation in the conference. As our chief guest, he will also officially open the conference on the 28th. Okay? I also had a chat with Honorable Raila Odinga as a leader from that region, somebody with wide experience and understanding of the development opportunities available in Nyanza. He has also promised to take part in the conference. Over and above the governors and all the leaders, we have written to all members of parliament from Nyanza also to take part. So in terms of preparations, we want everybody to get involved, and we have reached out to virtually everybody who needs to take part, and we invite, of course, all Kenyans to take part. Now, Jeff has talked about the development opportunities available in our Nyanza. I want just to pick a few government interventions that are work in progress. In the area of infrastructure, there is what is called the Lake Region Ring Road, Lake Victoria Ring Road. This is a road that has been in plan historically for a very, very long time. But as we speak, the Kenya National Highways Authority has already signed it. The Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure has approved it and forwarded the same to the National Treasury, and National Treasury is now in negotiations with the World Bank for purposes of funding. And all indicators are that we are going to get funding for this major project from the World Bank. They have indicated willingness to do the same. If this road is done, because it stretches all the way from Busia up to the Kenya-Tanzania border, it's going to open up the entire Nyanza region for purposes of entrepreneurship, trade and commerce, among the Nyanza counties themselves, but also between the Nyanza region and other parts of Kenya, and of course the same between Nyanza and the neighboring countries. That would be a game changer, and this government, under the leadership of the President, is determined to see that that road sees light at the end of the day. Still, within the same space of infrastructure, we have been having the Korusoin Dam, which has been in plans for a long time. The model that was envisaged for that project was full funding from our national exchequer. But we are engineering that model so that we bring in the private sector to enable us move faster because of limited resources locally. We are pursuing public-private partnership. As at last week, CS Water, Njeru, had managed to get a private sector investor from Indonesia who is ready and willing to partner with us by way of public-private partnership so that we can pursue that dam to a logical conclusion. And if that happens, it will help us sort out the flooding problem in Nyando. It will also help us augment the output of Korusoin Dam for purposes of electricity generation. It will also facilitate irrigation during non-rainy season, and also last mile delivery of water to the households. That's another major intervention. There are also plans to upgrade all our existing airport facilities, starting with the Kisumu airport. If we are able to exploit the potential of the lake region in agriculture, in fishing, for example, and we have an expanded airport in Kisumu, that would mean that we are able to export our produce to foreign markets directly from Kisumu. That would be a game changer. That again is in plan over and above the expansion of other airports, like the one in Homa Bay is work in progress. The one in Migori again is work in progress. On roads, again, there's quite a number of roads which are stalled. But the plan we have as government is that any resources that will be allocated to roads will first of all be utilized to pay contractors so that they can complete those roads which are stalled. A case in point is the Mamboleo Miwani Chemelil road. But over and above that, we also have certain roads which the government is already rolling out in areas which were hitherto almost locked up, if I may use that phrase. A case in point is Mufangano Island. There's already a 53 kilometer ring road, which is work in progress. There is another road from Sindo to Magunga. There's another road also within Rusinga Island, just to mention but a few. There's another one, Bondo Leunda Road. Quite a number of them are work in progress. In the space of electricity, we already have last mile connectivity of electricity ongoing in about nine constituencies. And because the Ministry of Energy has recently negotiated some additional funding, we expect that this will be spread out to all the remaining constituencies in Nyanza. In agriculture again, specifically with respect to the sugar industry, we have been dealing with a perennial problem of unsettled farmers' arrears. All farmers' arrears have now been fully settled. Any minimal components remaining will be sorted out this financial year, beginning next month. From there, we will work on a plan of sorting out the salary arrears for staff. But most importantly, as a government, we are determined to revitalize those sugar companies. We have already, under the leadership and tutelage of His Excellency the President, gotten private sector investors to come and pump in money into those sugar companies under a lease arrangement, not sale. We are not selling the sugar factories. We want to lease them to the private sector. They pump in money so that they are able again to operate at optimal capacity utilization levels to augment the economy of that region. We also want to look at the laws and policies. For example, in mining, if you go to Makalda in Migori today, or Saradidi in Asembo or Wagusu in Sakwa, you will get big gaping holes in the regions where gold has been mined. But in the vicinity or in the environs, there is no indicator by way of raising the standards of living of the people that we have actually mined gold in those areas. So the implication here is that we have got foreign entities coming, doing the mining and repatriating all the profits. We need to look at our policies and laws to the extent that in any area where we are doing certain levels of mining, a substantial proportion of the proceeds need to be plowed back to the local community. Yeah, that we are determined to do. We also have large deposits of other minerals which are unexploited. And if you go to Homa Bay, we have got large deposits of iron ore that needs to be exploited. Perhaps through this process, we should be able to get an investor in that space so that we don't have to import steel products. We can manufacture steel products in Homa Bay if we have a steel processing plant in Homa Bay. We are setting up fish landing sites along all the beaches in Nyanza, starting all the way from Musenge to Wichloom, Luanda Kotieno, Asembo Bay, Kindu Bay, Homa Bay, all the way to Mihur in Migori. We want to have refrigeration facilities around the lake to support our fishermen so that as fish gets out of the water, we have got adequate refrigeration facilities. And from there, if Kisumu Airport is expanded, then we can actually export fish directly to external markets so that we have a framework through which we have end-to-end in terms of supply chain within the fishing industry from the source of the raw material up to the market, and also leveraging on existing infrastructure within Nyanza itself. So those are just but a few illustrations of what the government is doing to support the development programs and opportunities which are available in Nyanza. So I want to assure you that any potential in terms of development within the Nyanza region, for the first time since independence, we have got a government which is truly responsive in ensuring that those opportunities are fully exploited by way of tangible development. So let's play our part. Let's play our part as private sector professionals so that we also do our bit. Our health facilities are not doing well. Perhaps through this process, we also need to identify some prospective investors who can put in money to help in upgrading the existing facilities and also have high-end health facilities which are fully private sector operated in Nyanza. That would be a game changer. If we sort out roads, we sort out electricity, we sort out water, and then we sort out the financing for purposes of entrepreneurship and trade for our women and the youth, I think we will be home and dry, because the technical capacity or intellectual capacity we already have. Those are the areas where we have challenges. If we sort out all that, I believe Nyanza will be self-sustaining and we will be able even to have surplus by way of produce to take to other parts of Kenya and beyond the Kenyan market. So let's work together. I once more appeal to you to take part in the conference. It may be an opportunity for you also to network, also to get prospective partners within the health sector or outside the health sector, so that in the history of this country, we will be counted as professionals who played a role in the development of Nyanza.